What's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by Patrick CC. It's titled Drake and Kendrick are liars. So Drake and Kendrick Day, okay, is what it is. We got multiple videos about these two. Pat CC is giving his take on the situation. I just skimmed through it, and he's addressing the claims that each person made about each other. So this is giving us more insight into what Drake's claims are against Kendrick as well. I know y'all didn't really like the last Patrick CC video, but I think this one is a bit more legit. I think Pat learned from that and he did his research a bit more for this video. So let's give Pat a chance. But yeah, let's hear what he has to say. Let's watch.
Okay. It's all calm down. Everybody calm down. I don't even know where to start.
Everybody calm down. I will say this though. So I reacted to all of these diss tracks. They're up on my Patreon, by the way. But I definitely looked into some of their claims because Patrick is alleging that, Drake and Kendrick are liars. So we'll hear what he has to say to back that up. But during these reactions, I did some quick research, and for Drake's diss track, I was able to disprove a few things that he said with just some quick Google searches, which I thought was crazy. And for Kendrick, while looking up things that he was saying about Drake, I was actually able to find a couple things that actually back up what Kendrick said. So I thought that was very interesting. So that's all in the reactions over there on my Patreon if you want to know the details of what I found and what, I had to say about those things. But I hope he brings up some of the things that I found. Because if you're going to dig and allege that niggas is liars, then show us. Show us the receipts.
They are not playing around.
Because I found some receipts.
It was already deep, okay? It was already deep. It was already layered. But it just got so much deeper. There's no more need to break down the lyrics and look for the subliminal messages or the hidden agenda behind all this. No, it's been said. It is on the table. Both of them have expressed clearly and concisely what they want you and I to know about one another. And they both made some crazy accusations. Accusations that would genuinely alter the course of their career, genuinely alter their perceptions forever, genuinely make people question what they thought they knew about either rapper if receipts are provided and some of these things come to light to be true. But I think all of us can agree that somebody's got to be lying. One of them, they could, like, I can't even speak. There's got to be lies. There has to be. And I'm not just going to break down every lyric and what it means in this video. Y'all can go on Rap Genius or Twitter for that. I know I have, because it's really interesting to see all the little subliminals and disses and references, and that's cool. But what I'd rather do is take a look at the disses, the accusations that actually matter. Not the tiny little fun things like, let's look at the bigger picture here. First, let's start with what Kendrick wants you to know about Drake. Drake allegedly has a daughter that he's hiding, and apparently she's 11 years old. Drake is a Harvey Weinstein level predator. Drake has sex offenders on his payroll. Drake is running a sex trafficking ring inside of his mansion. Drake is a pedophile. Drake hates black women. Drake lies about his religion. Drake lies about his identity because he doesn't feel comfortable or doesn't truly feel in his heart that he is a black man. There are obviously pages and pages more disses, like Drake having a gambling addiction, getting peed on, getting ab implants, and these are mean-spirited and entertaining to dissect, but are seriously non-issues when compared to potentially running a sex trafficking ring. Now, I'm not sure how any of this could really be proven to be true, but what are the ramifications for Drake? Will the general public or the culture still see Drake as this glamorous, charming, marvelous, ostentatious superstar? Or will they start to look at him sideways? Look at him as a depraved predator. Even before R. Kelly and Diddy were exposed formally, people spoke about their ways for years. It was kind of like an open secret. Will people at least start seeing Drake as someone who strategically shifts his identity like a chameleon whenever it benefits him? How he changes his accent, his cadence, and demeanor depending on the geographical location that he's in or the people that he's around. We know he grew up in a predominantly white Jewish neighborhood, but once he got more famous, he stopped talking about his religion and stopped representing it. Why? Is it too risky? Will it ruin his aura? Will people knowing who he really is hurt his position in pop culture, ultimately leading to less opportunity and less money? That answer is definitely yes. I mean, religion has been the root cause of literal wars. So then you have to ask yourself, is it really that crazy for someone to hide who they truly are to protect their safety or their income? I mean, most of y'all don't know who I really am or who your favorite content creator is. Is that a bad thing? The main difference there, I think, is that musicians are artists who make art that we deeply resonate with. And human civilization as we know it have expressed themselves through art since the beginning of time. Creating art, appreciating art, it's literally in our DNA. But then you have to ask yourself, is Drake making art? Because we know Kendrick is. Like, right. There is no doubt. Or is Drake making a product? This is like Van Gogh beefing with the paintbrush. An artist beefing with something that helps paint pictures. Are people in interviews going to start throwing subliminals at Drake? Are brands going to stop working with him? Are major celebrities and basketball players going to stop showing him love? Are pop stars going to stop working with him? Are new rappers going to stop taking features and photo ops with him? Are radios going to stop playing his music? I'm not saying these things need to happen for Kendrick to be perceived as the winner. We already know he is the winner, but Kendrick is exposing some real shit here. Like, is this just gonna be perceived as some silly rap beef, then Drake jumps on a podcast 2 years from now and is like, damn, me and Kendrick f***ed up the culture, we f***ed up hip-hop with that. That shit was crazy. It was so good for hip-hop. It was such good competition. No. Like, bro, this is deeper. This is not competition. This is exposing real shit. This is exposing crimes. This is exposing damning evidence of criminal activity that should genuinely be assessed. And
interestingly enough, though, some people honestly think that. Like, I've seen a couple comments where people are like, yeah, Drake will be fine, he'll bounce back, he's still gonna be making hits and da-da-da. And I'm like, are y'all okay? Like, so y'all are saying, yeah, man, he's a predator, he's cool. And it's so funny because I feel like I kept seeing around the time that R. Kelly got convicted finally and went to jail, there were so many people, mainly Gen Z, being like, oh, the older generation, why they didn't catch this and why they let him get away with this for so long. I just kept listening to his music. I hope they keep that same energy. I hope they keep that same energy and they don't just let, a predator just, fly by and continue to make music. And it's like, oh, well, anyway, we like the music, so we don't care. Especially when there are receipts out there. And of course, R. Kelly, there was definitely a receipt. There was a tape. But people were saying for the longest, like, oh, that's not him, or, that's somebody else, because the quality was, like, really bad. So I definitely remember some people coping and being like, oh, that's not him on the tape. So people could do the same thing and cope. Like, oh, that video, oh, that's kind of a long time ago. Yeah, he was being a predator in this video. Yeah, he's doing this with this young girl on video caught in 4K, but that was a while ago, so a lot of time has passed. People can make all type of excuses. So it will be very interesting to see how this plays out, because some people do think that, oh, Drake will be fine. He'll bounce back and just, be Drake and still be like wildly successful, and nobody will care about these allegations about him being a pedophile at all. And if that's the case, that's fucking wild and sick.
Of their influence, because they're a danger to society as just like a normal person, let alone a super celebrity. Just again, I want to reiterate the question. Do you think that the sort of general public, the person, the average person, not hip-hop fans, but the average person, are they genuinely going to look at everything that Kendrick is saying and think like, damn, I'm really, really looking at Drake differently now? I don't know. We'll see. Now, with that being said, let's look at the accusations or what Drake wants you to know about Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick beats his wife. One of Kendrick's kids is actually Dave Freeze. Dave is a childhood friend and right-hand man of Kendrick, who co-founded their label, PG Lang.
To be honest, this picture, he does look a lot like that little girl. I can't lie. I'm not saying it's true. I don't know these fucking people. But looking at this picture, because I just saw this little girl, because Drake made a claim that Kendrick's kid's light skin or whatever, one of the kids light skin. So I definitely looked up pictures of his kids, and I remember his daughter's face is fresh, very fresh in my head, and she does look. She does look like this nigga.
friend and right-hand man of Kendrick, who co-founded their label PG Lang. Kendrick isn't as good of a father as he claims he is. Kendrick bought a penthouse in Brooklyn to live the life of a single man because he doesn't actually want to marry the woman he proposed to 9 years ago, nor does he want to raise his child. Kendrick isn't the social activist he claims he is. And again, same thing, Drake.
The crazy part is, though, these allegations aren't nearly as bad as the ones against Drake. Like, these are like crumbs compared to that. Obviously, the beating of the wife thing is really, really bad, if that's true. But the other shit is like, all right, well, how's that his fault if his wife cheated on him and had a baby? Or what else was it? Oh, he don't want to marry her. He don't take pictures with his son. He's not the activist we think he is, or whatever the fuck. It's like, all right, but nigga, he's saying you a PDF file, and you got little girls coming in and out of your house. So what's up with that? What's up with those claims?
Throws in a lot of other smaller details and smaller disses, but mostly just talks about Kendrick being short. But really the only damning accusations from Drake are that Kendrick beats his girl and that one of his kids is actually from his business partner. Obviously, we know why domestic violence is bad. That doesn't need to be explained. And it's pretty obvious to see why, if that information was proven somehow, that would genuinely make people look at Kendrick Lamar differently. And as far as one of his kids potentially not being his, while that information is shocking, one could also argue that Kendrick choosing to raise a child that he knows isn't his is honorable. I mean, I was raised by my stepdad and I love him to death. I mean, it would hurt your image if you're some sort of like Macho Man, Andrew Tate type of guy, but Kendrick never pushed that. So honestly, you could argue that Kendrick would just look like even more of a better man if he was raising a kid that wasn't his. And Drake kind of leans on the concept of being a bad father just the same way that Kendrick says that Drake is a bad father, but Drake's only major claims are that Kendrick doesn't take photos with his son. Like, that's not crazy at all. And it's pretty easy to understand why a celebrity wouldn't want to put their child in the public eye. Like, that's super common. In fact, you could also argue that a parent who chooses to push their child who can't make decisions for themselves, to the public and make them a public figure before they even have a choice, you could argue that that's bad parenting, because we all know how child stars typically end up. And then the other major accusation that Kendrick is some sort of fake social activist, I just don't really see how that could be proven. A large part of social activism is amplifying your voice and using your voice to speak up and support your agenda. Kendrick has dedicated albums to speak about the Black experience in America and push for positive change in his communities, and his actions have also matched his words. And even if it was hypothetically fake and Kendrick was like a fraud and he didn't actually care, it's the most positive fake agenda I've ever seen. And y'all know I was initially thinking Drake was winning this beef, so I'm not even trying to be biased towards Kendrick.
But that's what Aubrey's Angels are gonna scream, because they have nothing else. They got nothing, okay? They out here down bad, they struggling, they sad, okay? I mean, and it's interesting because I was also sad, so people call me biased, but if I was so biased, why the fuck did I get so emotionally moved when I'm hearing all these bad things about Drake that could be true? Like, excuse me? If I was so biased and hated Drake so much, I wouldn't give a fuck, dummies. I would just be like, oh, damn, I knew he wasn't shit. Get him, Kendrick. I wouldn't be emotionally moved at all if I didn't care about Drake or I hated him so much. Like, I got so moved because I do fuck with Drake and his music. So that did, like, really negatively affect me. So it's never been biased on my end, but I don't give a fuck. Keep saying I'm biased. If that makes you feel better about Aubrey being as down atrocious as he is right now, then sure. Call me what you like. Sure, if it helps you sleep well tonight. But yeah, I mean, you just can't deny the facts. So I feel you, Pat.
Drake doesn't have much grounds to stand on. His accusations just pale in comparison to what Kendrick is accusing him of. Plus, when you consider the craziest chess move, which is potentially the truth, is that Kendrick predicted that Drake's diss would involve him making lies about Kendrick's family based on things that Kendrick said in his own Mr. Morale album. Because in that album, Kendrick deeply discusses his complicated family life and his own hypocrisies as a man. And Drake did exactly that. He came after Kendrick's family, but we don't know if the information that Drake is going off of is solely based on Kendrick's own admissions on his album or if he is really exposing him for some information that we don't know. But when you also consider that Kendrick said that Drake has a mole in his camp feeding Kendrick information because they feel he deserves to be exposed, and that claim is backed up by dropping his Meet the Grams diss literally 30 minutes after Drake dropped his Family Matters diss, and that cover art has an item referencing everything in Drake's song that he dropped 30 minutes ago. So from here, I mean, what happens? Well, the last time Drake got exposed, he dropped Scorpion like 3 weeks later, and everyone just kind of went back to being distracted by his catchy tunes and his hits, and they just kind of didn't really care what Pusha T had to say. But I think we can all agree that Kendrick is on a way different level than Pusha T. And even though Pusha T's information was shocking and everybody was talking about it, there is a different level of people talking about this beef now. Literally everyone is talking about this beef. So that means that everyone is paying attention to these major accusations that Kendrick is making. So will Drake just drop an album and go back to distracting the world with his catchy tunes? Or will his team crumble from within as he searches for this mole? And the industry and the public starts to shift against him until he ultimately gets exposed for these terrible crimes. It's tough to say. But Kendrick most definitely won this rap beef from just a rap perspective and just a straight up mean-spirited fighting perspective. It's over. And one last thing. In Drake's Family Matters diss, he confirmed that Metro, aka Leland Wayne, is the reason why Future and Drake are beefing. So I was right.
So yeah, those are all of the allegations on the table. Everything that was alleged about these two men. It is what it is. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what videos you want to watch, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!